Kia uru mai, aho ora, aho kaha, aho maida. Ke runga, ke raro, ke roto, ke waho. Riri ho, pai mārere. Tēnā koutou, rangatira mā. Kua tai mai nei, kia ti nei whare, nā mihi nui ki a koutou katoa, no rere, tēnā koutou katoa. No mai, haere mai, and welcome to the Podako of Maui in the Sun. I chose to do this Podako as it speaks to me, as some of its themes and concepts really relate to me. So without further ado, let's get into it. My name is Maui, and this is the story of how I slowed the sun. One day, as me and my brothers were preparing our meal, heating the stones for our hangi, we suddenly were shrouded in darkness of the sun abruptly setting. This caused me much frustration, as we never had enough daylight to do all the things we had to do. Not enough time to hunt and fish, not enough time to do our chores, not enough time to do anything because of how little time Tamanui Te Rā gives us. I had finally had enough of being a slave to the sun, and brought all my brothers together for a hui. Brothers! We are slaves to the sun. It hurts us. It hurts our whānau. I have a plan. No more shall we be slaves. I will capture the sun and force it to slow down. My brothers were not convinced by my words and stared at me as if I'd gone mad. It is impossible, one said. He'll burn you as soon as he sees you, another declared. My brothers, though upset as well with the sun's actions, did not believe I'd be able to do such a feat. They needed to be convinced, so convince them I did. Brothers, I am Maui. I have done many great feats in the past, many believed to be impossible. With me I carry also the magic jawbone, and with this and your help we will be able to slow the sun. Though they were not as confident as I was, my brothers agreed to help me in my endeavour. Tomorrow we shall gather flax to weave the strongest ropes. And so we did. Me and my brothers were weaving the materials into ropes. I used a karakia with the power to enchant the ropes with the power to be able to contain the mighty sun. Once the ropes were made, I discussed that we would only move in darkness, and we would move east towards where the sun would rest. How will we not be spotted? One of my brothers would ask. During the days, we will have to hide in trees and bushes to stay out of the sun's sight. And so we did. We travelled many nights east until eventually the lush bush became barren and the ground beneath our feet became hot. I knew then we were getting close. Suddenly we arrived at the edge of a pit with flames trickling out. This is where Tamanui Te Rā was sleeping. My brothers became frightened and some of them wished to flee. However, I gave them the encouragement and reminded them of the plan. I know you are worried, brothers, but we must do what we have come here to do. We have come so far. We'll use our ropes to snare the sun when he rises. On my signal, all of you must use all of your strength to hold him down. No matter what, do not let go. We began to wait with the trap in position and the light slowly rising out of the cave. Suddenly, Tamanui Te Rā rose out, unknowing of what has been set out for him. Now, brothers, I yelled, and all in unison they pulled with all their might, halting him from rising. Me and Tamanui Te Rā locked eyes as I struck him with my magic jawbone. Why are you attempting to kill me? He bellowed. It is not my intention to kill you, I spoke. I am only trying to slow you down to extend our days. No longer shall we be slaves to you. I bellowed this while striking him more. After a while of many strikes, I could see he had now submitted. Loosen your ropes, brothers. Let him go, and he shall slowly creep across the sky from now on. And so he did. And Tamanui Te Rā did as he was asked and arose slowly. We returned back to our home and was welcomed back with cheers from our whānau. From that day on to this day, now Tamanui Te Rā still travels slowly, and if you peer closely, you can still see the ropes that bind him. My name is Maui, and this is the story of how I slowed the sun. The reason I chose the Podako over the others was because of the display of whanaungatanga as well as rangatira. In this Podako, even though it is labelled how Maui slowed the sun, Maui did not do this on his own and never believed he could either. Whanaungatanga holds an importance in relationships, the sense of family connection, a relationship through shared experiences and working together, which provides people with a sense of belonging. It develops as a result of kingship, rights and obligations, which also serve to strengthen each member of the king group. In this story, Maui needs his support of his brothers and helped convince them using their shared knowledge of past feats Maui had completed. Another factor in how he convinced his brothers to aid him was with the shared understanding that completing this feat would be beneficial for all those within their whānau, which was the driving reason for them even attempting this in the first place. And this shows the use of whanaungatanga. Rangatarangatanga is the action of exercising good leadership and authority and embodying qualities that guide and uplift others around yourself as well as you. The whole way through the story, Maui showed Rangatarangatanga as he exercised good authority and was fair to his brothers, not forcing them but rather convincing them, encouraging them throughout the shared journey. He did not only show just bravery and might, but collaboration and leaning on others for help, displaying good leadership qualities within him. When we look at the contemporary insights and how the concepts can be applied, I believe the concepts within this Pūtake can offer many insights in today's world. This connection is high in New Zealand and seen vividly within the youth demographic, with around a quarter of youth aged 15-24 having high issues with their mental health. Though there are many social and external factors to mental health, feeling like you belong is an important aspect for recovery. This is why I believe whanaungatanga is such an important concept that should be encouraged within our youth as well as protected and reinforced by our whānau. And this can be done in many simple ways, like shared celebrations of events, like seen at the end of the Pūtake where the whole whānau cheered for their return. But in New Zealand, we do have a high amount of tall poppy syndrome, which kind of diminishes that. If this was changed, that maybe we could see a little bit more of connection within our youth and tamariki. When looking at my personal reflections of learning throughout this Pūtake and the concepts within this Pūtake, I find myself being very in awe of Maui and for his asking of support from his brothers. The reason that I reflect on this so much and I find this so impactful for me is that I grew up in quite a small rural town in South Taranaki. And I lived in quite a Pākehā household, traditional values, and they kind of embodied the kind of Western values that we see from many action movies, comic book heroes, etc., where you're one man against the world and you must solve all your problems to be a big strong man. And those were things that I believed for a very long time and found it very hard to ask for help or support in just general settings. And then looking at this Pūtake, you see Maui, who is, the hero of the story. He's a strong, he in all sense he's a masculine, guy, but he is asking for help. And it's not put in any other way other than he can't complete this on his own. And he doesn't have any shame, any, grimace, no negative emotions about it. And that to me is so powering. That is so powering to me that he is, that comfortable asking, and it's shown in that normal way. And I feel when you look at that within whanaungatanga as well, I mean, that is just such a mind-boggling thing for me to see, and I find that really inspiring for, my personal life with my family. It gives me a bit of a reflection of how I want things to be when I have children and I have my own kids. And I find that really inspiring throughout this Pūtake was reflecting on that and how it challenges a lot of beliefs that I myself hold, and I would know that many others around me do also hold. And for that, I'm very thankful for choosing this Pūtake and going into these concepts and learning about it. Kia tautua rangimarere, ke longa I ngā iwi o te ao. E rama te rangmana whetu, ki te pēha rā koutou, ki runga akira, he tai mama tori te rama na whetu, kei te pēha rā koutou. I rama na whetu, kei te pēha rā koutou, ki lunga akira hitai mana tolite terama na fetu ke te pihera koutou.